Why is it, Les, do you think that most people never fulfill their potential?
Because most people go to their graves thinking that it's not possible. See, when you've been told so many times you can't do that, and you see people around you who haven't done much more than you begin to unconsciously to believe that this is your reality. They took babies 6 months of age, and they would find a baby that did not like a particular baby food. Then they would surround it with other babies who liked that baby food and put the baby at the table with them, and they would watch the baby and observe the baby. The baby, after a while, would start playing in the food and watching the other babies eat it. Then, after a while, it would begin to put the food in its mouth.
Wow.
Peer pressure. That even at 6 months of age, we're born with a predisposition to do the things that we see around us. That's why we're told that we must be willing to be independent thinkers. Adam, where art thou? That most people are influenced by their environment.
Yes.
And so, but if you take the time to surround yourself with people who are like-minded and like-hearted people, and get some coaching and teaching that allows you to step out of the story that you're living and become, as Mother Teresa would say, a pencil in the hand of God and start writing a new chapter in your life. That's what the possibility of what you're providing for people. Because if they don't want to continue to live a life of poverty, they have the power to write a new script. That's the greatest power that God has given man above the animals. The ability to choose. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve.
Amen.
Well, most people are suffering from mental malnutrition. They don't take time to read. 52% of the planet don't even open a book after they graduate from high school. So by the training that you're providing, this service, giving them a chance to study and learning some principles that they don't know, now they have an opportunity to begin to increase the possibility of earning more money. And we talk about prosperity. It's not just about more money.
No, it's
about health.
Health, of course.
It's about peace of mind, about being able to get a good night's sleep.
Absolutely.
Those are the things that we're supposed to have. And those are the fruits of the Spirit as you seek that kingdom within. And as we get in alignment by working together, there are things that I can learn from you that I will never get by myself. That I must be willing to put my ego out of the way and say, would you teach me, Terry? And most people aren't willing to do that because of their pride and ego.
You know, I've been saying for the last 2 years on this program, there's two ways to learn in life: mistakes or mentors. The majority of people learn through mistakes rather than through a mentor. And I do mentoring sessions, I do one-to-one mentoring sessions. I can give people, I can solve a problem within minutes in the financial realm. They would take a whole lifetime and make mistake after mistake after mistake. And you know, you gain experience for having made mistakes, really, don't you? Right. And it's good to be a mentor. And there is that two ways to learn in life: is mistakes or mentors. But I believe what you're saying is it really is a pride thing. People won't go.
Yeah, because of their pride. They say, "Oh, I know that already," and they don't know that they don't know. Right. And the other piece is that as you look at yourself, many of us underestimate ourselves because we judge ourselves based upon what we've already done, and we're living out of our memory. When I looked at the opportunity, I saw the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale speak, who wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. I could see him now. You have something special. Don't allow your negative thoughts to hold you back. Don't allow your negative thoughts or your circumstances to determine who you become. He gave me goose pimples. I wanted to work with him, and I did. Years later, I had the opportunity to open for him on many occasions. I gave him a quote that he always mentioned whenever he spoke: shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. That is my quote, and he loved it. Yes. And one of the things that I learned from Dr. Peale, he said, young man, he said, look at your life. You determine what's going to happen. You have the power, the path that you will choose. Don't allow your negative friends to influence your decision. Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a mentor to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and an advisor to Mahatma Gandhi and Albert Schweitzer, he said there are two primary questions that one must ask oneself in life. Number one, where am I going? And number two, who's going with me? And he said, and if you ever ask those questions in the wrong order, you'll be in serious trouble. Where most people ask, who's going with me, before they find out where they're going, and they end up growing apart.
Right.
So where are we? We have to begin to take the time for quiet listening, to listen to the still small voice within. What I was doing when I looked at this calling on my life, I was looking back and living out of my memory as opposed to my imagination. Einstein said the imagination is the preview of what's to come. God said to Abraham, I'll give you all your eyes can see. Now, because I couldn't see it, didn't mean I couldn't have it, because our favorite book says, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you. And so as we look at ourselves, we've got to be willing, I say, leap and grow your wings on the way down, to walk by faith and not by sight.
I love it. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
So really, how do we convince the body of Christ? You know, one of the famous quotes is like, personal education will earn you a living, and personal development will earn you a fortune. But we don't have that. We have this undisciplined church that won't work and won't pay the price. And how do we convince them, Les?
Well, first of all, let people know. Let them know up front. Number one, you will fail your way to success.
You will fail your way.
You will fail your way to success. You know, Babe Ruth used to be the home run king in the United States. He struck out more than he hit home runs, okay? You will fail your way to success. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to have a lot of setbacks. When you have a goal and you have a dream, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, didn't say you might, you will have tribulations.
That's right.
Things are going to happen
Come
to
on,
you.
Les, preach it.
Now, no tests, no testimony. All of those things are there to strengthen you. I have a saying when I speak, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you could look up, you can get up. That's the name of the game. So you're going to fail your way to success. The other thing that is very important for people to understand, when you have goals and dreams, it will happen when it happens. Sometimes we can predict it. Sometimes we can call it out. But the most of the time, we can't. When will a baby walk? It will walk when it walks, and some walk sooner than others. Many people become discouraged when things don't work out. They feel, I'm not supposed to have that. No, a delay does not mean a denial. It just means the process that you're using doesn't work. Now you might need some other thinking. Einstein said the thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems this thinking can't solve. So maybe I need to get with Terry, and he, looking at this, not being involved in it, can see some things that I can't see. That's why this section here that is so very important. You're talking to people here, and balancing prosperity is so important, and that is seeking wise counsel. You don't know everything. You got to find people who know some stuff that you don't know, and be willing to ask them to be taught. One of the things that gave me the competitive advantage, a major pharmaceutical company wanted to hire consultants, people with MBAs and PhDs and MDs, to come in and train these doctors to communicate with their patients, to increase their taking of their hypertension medication. The way I got the contract, I went around and I interviewed doctors who were successful in getting their patients to take their medication. I asked them, what did you do? How were you able to get them to take their medication? Then I asked the patients, what made you cooperate with your doctor? Once I interviewed the doctors and the patients who work in compliance, when I went to speak to the group that I spoke to, I also asked them, what are you looking for in a presenter? What kind of program would you vote for if you had your choice right now? Now, the other people came in there, and they just brought in information. Now, what guides my thinking, how I train speakers now, Jesus was not a preacher. He was a communicator. He didn't tell carpenters to throw their nets overboard. He knew who he was talking to. He never gave the same sermon, and he used the metaphors and the examples that people understood so that they can identify with it and then go and act on it and make it a part of their lives. So using that principle, I conducted communications intelligence to find out what were they looking for, and I didn't let what I wanted to say to get in the way of what they needed to hear, and I got the contract. Even though I'm not a doctor, don't have any college training, but they knew that I knew more about them than they knew about themselves. And that's what we have to do. Hold ourselves to high standards. Do not go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail. He was called a master teacher because he knew the people in the audience, and they knew that he knew them and could speak to where they are. And so as we look at ourselves, what is it that can make us stand out? What is it that can make you unique? What is it? The greatest among you will be your servant. I always tell people, you want to become successful, you want to become rich, provide more service than you get paid for. When I decided to become a speaker, the speaking industry is governed by the Dale Carnegie course, which is a great course. It teaches, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. I said, no, my favorite book says, in all thy getting, get understanding.
Yes.
If I tell you what I'm going to tell you, I'm giving you a presentation from my point of view. But if I get the time, take the time to know who is Terry, what keeps him up at night, what causes you to lose sleep, now I'm giving you a presentation to where you are. And I'm creating more value. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so we have to look at how is it that I can do something that's exceptional, that will create value for people. What service can I provide? You on a job? Go be the first one there, the last one to leave. Learn everything you can. Don't operate out of thinking of, that's not in my job description. No, no, no. In order to be successful, you must be willing to do the things today others won't do, in order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. So as you look at yourself, look into the future, how can I make myself more valuable? How can I provide a greater service? What need is there out here that I can fill? And by doing that, now you're able to increase your income tremendously.
Wow, Les, this is fantastic stuff. Do you know, I just
got some I'm just thumbing through this and I'm saying, wait a minute.
It's my turn.
Yes.
It's my turn to listen, though. It's great just to listen to this wisdom that's pouring out. So I'm just so glad you're staying where you are. We're going to do another hour. We're going to open up the phone shortly. So thank you once again, Les. So if you're watching, you want to come along to my business seminar, it's coming up on the screen just now. I'm going to be in London on the 1st of March, central London, for business entrepreneurs. This is not for the faint-hearted. This is for people who are serious at building wealth. Listen, we need kings in the church. We need men and women of God that know how to handle God's finances and how to attain wealth, how to share wealth, how to think wealthy. And listen, you need to learn some stuff. All of us are products of learning, and we need to learn more and more and more. Stop trying to get what people are earning. Start getting what they're learning. So listen, thank you very much for watching again, Finance in Focus, and we'll see you next week on part 8, the final part. That's going to be part 8 of Potential Prosperity. I'm going to speak more about the power of words. God bless you. And thank you once again. And listen, if you're watching this live program, stay tuned because Les is back again. Okay? We're going to go to a short music break and Les is back for another hour. God bless.
To invite Terry Quinn to your church for a life-changing seminar, call 0794 640 1541 or visit www.practicalprosperity.co.uk.